For the longest time, it's been established that there are 6 major Hollywood studios, and below them are studios known as mini-majors. However, there is one member of that latter group that I think has proven itself a possible contender to join the Big 6. That studio is Lionsgate Films. With its various film productions, popular franchises, and acquisitions over the years, Lionsgate has more than enough respected hits to join the upper elite. And to make my case, I'm going to go over their history. Lionsgate's origins go back to the Canadian distribution and production company Cinepix in 1962. It mostly started out distributing B-movies and then eventually produced softcore sex comedies and horror films. Notable filmmakers Ivan Reitman and David Cronenberg even got their start at Cinepix. In 1997, Lionsgate Entertainment was founded in Vancouver, and it bought Cinepix, turning it into Lionsgate Films. They started out with a few low-budget films, but Lionsgate's first widely recognized release was Bill Condon's Gods and Monsters. While not a box office success, it was highly acclaimed, and won an Academy Award for its screenplay. The first batch of films were largely limited releases, but it was enough to gain them some interest and recognition from Hollywood. A major get happened when they acquired the theatrical distribution rights to Kevin Smith's Dogma. Disney had refused to release the film under Miramax due to controversy over its religious commentary, so the film was sold to Lionsgate and pulled in a decent profit. With the release of Dogma, Lionsgate established itself as a potential distributor for cutting-edge films that the major studios were unsure about. Over the next few years, they released Mary Harron's satire, American Psycho, the LGBT cult favorite But I'm a Cheerleader, Alejandro González Iñárritu's directorial debut, Amores Perros, and Monsters Ball, which earned Halle Berry an Oscar for Best Actress. 2004 was a year that proved a major turning point for Lionsgate as it attempted to become a major Hollywood player. Going into the new year, they had recently acquired Artisan Entertainment, boosting their library, and which led them to releasing a new Dirty Dancing movie. Lionsgate also partnered with Paramount on The Prince and Me and 20th Century Fox on The Day After Tomorrow. They also dabbled into comic book movies with the release of The Punisher, based on the popular Marvel character. Following the footsteps of Dogma, Lionsgate distributed another Miramax movie Disney refused to release, Michael Moore's Fahrenheit 9/11. The controversy surrounding the film's anti-Bush stance only heightened interest and publicity, leading it to become the highest-grossing documentary of all time, a record it still holds to this day. Meanwhile, at Sundance, Lionsgate bought a low-budget horror film created by 2 unknown Australian filmmakers. They originally intended to put it out direct-to-video, but the positive response at Sundance gave them the confidence to give the movie a theatrical release. That film was Saw, and its simple premise of 2 men locked in a bathroom captivated plenty of horror fans, and launched a very successful franchise, with Lionsgate releasing a new film every October for the rest of the decade. Jigsaw instantly became a horror icon, and Lionsgate continues to revisit the property with a new movie, Spiral, set to open next year. The following year saw Lionsgate launch another unexpected franchise with Tyler Perry's Medea series. Perry had success with this character in stage plays, and put his own money into producing a feature film. Lionsgate bought the distribution rights to Diary of a Mad Black Woman, probably only expecting a small audience. However, everyone was surprised when it opened at #1, and it led to a long and fruitful partnership between Perry and the studio. Lionsgate finally got the respect of Hollywood as a whole when Crash became their first movie to win Best Picture. Admittedly, it was a divisive win, and time has not helped the movie, but it was considered quite the surprise, considering the film opened in May and somehow sustained interest through the award season. The second half of the 2000s for Lionsgate was mostly populated by grisly horror films, lowbrow comedies, and the occasional prestigious fare like 3:10 to Yuma, Away From Her, and Precious. I think the 2010s, though, is when Lionsgate went full steam ahead into getting a major slice of the box office market share. One of their big hits came from the Expendables trilogy, but maybe the biggest show of their ability to compete with the big dogs was when they bought the film rights to a trilogy of young adult novels by Suzanne Collins. The Hunger Games was expected to do well, but it ended up doing better, being a hit with both book fans and newcomers. The Hunger Games also turned Jennifer Lawrence into a major name, and was an important influence on other studios jumping onto the young adult bandwagon. In 2012, Lionsgate acquired Summit Entertainment, which got them the rights to another popular YA series, Twilight, although they only ended up releasing the final film. Not that all the entries into the genre were roaring successes. Divergent did quite well with the first two movies, but the third film flopped. Allegiant was actually meant to be the first in a two-part finale, but with its disappointing box office performance, the plan was to end it with a TV movie, which never materialized. One area Lionsgate has not found much success in is animation. Most of their animated releases have been critically panned efforts, like the fairytale spoof Happily Never After, the wolf tale Alpha and Omega, and most infamously of all, everyone's favorite twerking polar bear, Norm of the North. I think Disney's mantle on top of the animation marketplace is safe. Not that everything was a dud. One of Lionsgate's first releases was Bill Clinton's I Married a Strange Person, and they also distributed Aardman's Shaun the Sheep movie and Early Man. Those did not exactly do much business, though, due to lack of marketing, if you're wondering why Aardman is now partnered with Netflix. Lionsgate did sign a distribution deal with CBS Films, which led them to releasing such films as Hell or High Water, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, The Duff, and Middle School, The Worst Years of My Life. An action series launched by Lionsgate in recent years was one that definitely came out of nowhere, and that's John Wick. Before release, this was mostly pegged as just another Keanu Reeves action film. It pulled in decent worldwide numbers, got strong reviews from critics, and did even better on video and streaming. That was enough for a sequel to be produced, which doubled the performance of its predecessor. And then John Wick Chapter 3 became a genuine blockbuster. I'm not surprised there are already 2 more sequels and even a spin-off film on the horizon. Another big hit for Lionsgate was Damien Chazelle's acclaimed musical La La Land. The movie was seen as an awards favorite shortly after its festival premieres, but it was also popular with audiences, making over $440 million worldwide. The family film Wonder was another surprise hit for the studio, doing very well even in a competitive time for family pictures. Lionsgate did have a fairly expensive flop with 2018's Robin Hood, starring Taron Egerton, but they came roaring back last year. They did so well they even beat out Paramount in studio market share. Certainly the most impressive accomplishment came with the murder mystery Knives Out. Rian Johnson's take on Agatha Christie had excellent word of mouth that kept it chugging along through the holiday season. Most movies nowadays rely on their opening weekends, so it was good to see a film like Knives Out open well and continue to find new viewers week after week. So of course a follow-up with Daniel Craig reprising his roles as Saving Private Eye is in the planning stages. Between Saw, Medea, John Wick, and now Knives Out, Lionsgate has proven itself to be a place where unexpected franchises are born. Lionsgate continues to grow its stable of films and is also open to trying all sorts of movies, whether they're prestigious filmmakers' passion projects, a small horror film that hopefully scares us, or a silly comedy that finds an appreciative audience. They may not hit it out of the park every time, but it's been interesting to see them grow from a small independent company to a studio that can more than handle its own with the Hollywood giants. See you next time.